And, you know, no one is truly independent. Everyone is dependent on somebody for something. That's just all there is to it.
How far would you be willing to get a talk show or a TV show? How far would you be willing to sell out?
Wow. God.
Just ballpark it. Like how much would you limit? Like if you were to get say North Star on a Fox station, how far would you be willing to cut it?
Man, well, the goal is not to have anything cut from it. The goal is, you know, to be in a position where that question doesn't even come up. And I'm trying to think, when has there ever been a point in which I had to do something like that?
Yeah, has there been any times where someone's bought one of your stories and you says, I like it, but could you tone it down or something?
Well, folks know better than that. You know, it's like a used car, as is. I mean, folks ought to know me by now to the point where they know what they're getting into, you know. I suppose cuss words, you know.
People flip out over that.
Well, no, it's not that. I was just trying to imagine, like, what, you know, like, I mean, okay, let's take the North Star. You brought that up. The best case scenario would be if I could get the North Star on HBO, like The Sopranos. Now, I'm not familiar with The Sopranos, so maybe you can tell me, do they cuss in The Sopranos?
Yeah.
They do, and they don't beep it out.
No.
All right, so that would be what I would want for the North Star, ideally. But if someone came to me and said, Saab, we'll pay for the North Star to be made under the condition that there's no cuss words, I could do that. So I suppose that would be about as far as I'd be willing to go.
So you wouldn't cut content ever?
No, not content, but cuss words. I mean, I can tell something like, I mean, it'd be tricky, but I can tell something like the North Star without cuss words. You know, one thing that I would try and see if I could get away with would be if I could do like they do in the Dave Chappelle show, because the Dave Chappelle show is not necessarily on, I mean, it's on cable, but it's on basic cable. It's not on like cuss word cable like HBO. And so I'm thinking, you know how on the Dave Chappelle show, they cuss, but then they beep it out. So I'm thinking maybe I could do that with the North Star. Like, you know, if someone were to say, well, we'll pay for it, but no cussing. And then if I were to say in return, well, what if there's cussing, but we beep it out? Then that'd be kind of a gray area where, you know, maybe the studio would go for it, maybe they wouldn't.
And what would you be really willing to write for The Stranger? What would you desire to write?
Ooh, I'd love to do a literary serial. I would love to do something like Shango. You know, something like Shango, something like Silver Bullet, or just something completely original. You know. But yeah, I mean, I just know that at least 250,000 people are reading that paper every week, and in which case, you know, that would be a huge opportunity.
Shango is a Yoruba god, right? Or a
West African god of weather. He's basically the Black Thor. And so, but you've read that on the site, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if it was Yoruba or what.
I don't know.
How do you feel they would feel about Shango? Do you think they'd be offended by it, or?
I mean, you know, it's universal popularity would be a beautiful thing, but you're inevitably going to piss off somebody.
So do you think that the actual Yorubas would like Shango, or would they find it offensive?
Who knows? I mean, you'll find it'd probably be a 50-50 split. You'll probably find just as many folks who love it as you find folks who hate it. But, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like you still got to put yourself out there anyway. You know, I mean, there are a lot of folks out there who hold their breath waiting for that moment in which they come out with something that will be just so completely universally popular to the point where, you know, everyone will accept it no matter what. It's just not going to happen. I mean, even something as popular as Star Wars has its critics. So.
Thank you.
I'm the anti-vegetarian. It's so funny. They got this sign on the box saying vegetarian and whatnot. You know.
We've got beef, lamb. No pork. No pork. You need to take one and move on, ma'am. That's lamb. You need to move on, ma'am. Ma'am, you need to move. Yep, time to move on. There we go. Right, steaks, sausage. A dinner, more steaks, hamburgers, chicken. Chicken and rice.
Oh God. Oh, did you? No, they.
We're filming.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you got the flyer, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I can hardly wait to get my story.
Wait a minute. Were you? Did you want to hire me to?
Well, Sally's still talking to me about it.
Well, my number's on the flyer, so call me.
Okay.
We can do all this until you get down to these.
Oh, they're the documentary.
Day in the life of the food banker. Or just a day in the life of you.
Cool. Kim.
Cool.
Supposed to act like the camera's not there. And
Act, however, you couldn't possibly be any worse than the folks in my building. Oh, thank you.
you see the camera all of a sudden like, yeah, what's up? I'm on
Yeah,
TV.
that's about how they acted. Let's see.
Thank you.
I know.
All that stuff's still pretty frozen?
No,
No?
it's not frozen.
Oh no.
What about French fries?
No.
I don't know about your guy. No, yours is soft too.
About orange juice or apple cider. One thing, heavy.
I don't have time.
Okay. You get 2 dip, one of those. White,
Excuse me, guys.
Steve. Hot dogs, damn.
Hello. Can I ask you what you're doing?
We're filming him.
Okay. So,
We're not taking any food or anything.
oh, no. I realized that. I just